I I was uh I was trying to remember what it was that I watched, and I think it was a clip from that Aiden Ross stream. I'm sure I don't know about. I know a lot of the MMA community has seen it. People that watch this channel, I don't know. I wonder sometimes, like when it comes up, I wonder like how much crossover is there actually. I would imagine just because of styles, because of tones, because of personalities. There's probably not a lot of crossover with this channel and the MMA Gurus channel. I would imagine there's probably not a lot. Um, but I could understand there being some, but not a lot. Anyway, the reason I bring that up is because there was a bunch of clips going around from Aiden Ross stream, and it's the same stream where the MMA Guru was on, and that's been like the talk of the town lately. And during that same stream, he had on Armin Sarukian. I think this was before uh, the Guru stuff, but he asked, he was basically asking Armin like cutting through the chase, and he was like, "Hey, obviously what everyone was been asking about, talking about, and memeing about, and getting mad at Dana White and the UFC about, like it's been like nonstop, and it's been the most obvious ridiculousness about Paddy Pimblett and Dustin Gaethje instead of Armin Sarukian being anywhere in the equation." And I think it was Daniel Comer that came out even couple or a few days before that, and he said something like, "There's got to be something that we don't know, some kind of understanding." I'm paraphrasing, obviously. DC said something like, the UFC and Armin must have talked. They must have some kind of understanding, and they agreed on something, because he said if not, Armin Sarukian will be putting up a big stink because DC knows he deserves it. And he was pretty much saying, because that couldn't be more obvious that that's his spot, that he should be fighting for the title, that he's the rightful contender, and he's not saying a peep about it. There's got to be something that went on behind closed doors. It makes no sense that they're gonna disrespect him like that. He's just gonna be on hush mode, and he's just gonna be at RAF events and grappling with one-eyed Russians or whatever. And then after that, it came out that Armin was like, yeah, that UFC basically spoke with him, and they were like, we can't really rely on you right now and put a whole bunch of faith in you, because you're headbutting fighters right before fights, jeopardizing the fights, like basically trying to sabotage yourself, almost injuring the dude to the point where, should we even continue with this fight? You're, missing weight, supposedly. I mean, that's still a matter of opinion. But in the eyes of the UFC, of course, they're going to use it to their power and just say, yeah, you miss weight. And then sucking up fans in the audience. So they're just looking at this dude like a loose cannon, like you are a wild boy. You're like a 1993 type of UFC dude. We can't be rocking like this right now. Not in the CBS era, not in the Paramount era, not in the Deadly Rivals area. What's it called? Those two dudes. Like he said, we can't operate like that in 2026, going into our first major event. He said they told him this. This is not any kind of speculation. This is not him trying to fill in the gaps. He was informed, you're a wild man. We can't put our trust in you for this first big event. And this is no secret. This is no big surprise or revelation. This is something that we've been talking about. This is something that a lot of people have been talking about. This is something that Dana White has finally come out and said, so that there's no longer any kind of confusion whatsoever. We can't even joke about how the rankings don't matter anymore. That can't be a punchline anymore. We can't beat around the bush and meme about, the rankings. Like, who comes up with the rankings? This means nothing. Did Tomas Aspinall come up with the rankings? The moment he got blinded, they gave him a piece of paper to write out the rankings, and this fool, like, who does this? Who throws this together? What brainiac comprises these UFC rankings? And what is this? Excuse me, I'm listening to I didn't expect this song to come on. Because Dana White came out and said a while back, they don't matter, they're dumb. The people that make them are dumb. They don't know. He always basically says no one knows fighting like I do. Nobody sees what goes on in the war room. And he's always talking about the war room. And that everyone's stupid. Everyone's opinion's stupid. All their opinions don't matter. So he says that in combination with Arman Sarukian saying that they told him this. And what that tells us clear as day and just reinforces and reiterates is that, yeah, they really, 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 really don't matter. The UFC straight up told their number one contender that fighting ain't about fighting. Matter of fact, they're telling the number one contender that if you fight too much, then you ain't gonna fight. Hey, one of the best fighters in the world. Hey, you fought too much. That's too much fighting. You're fighting dudes in the audience. You're fighting the dude you're supposed to fight before you're supposed to fight him. You're fighting against your own weight. You're fighting too much, bro. So for that reason, you're out. For that reason, we need the right optics. We need to keep up appearances for this first big event, for the world stage, for Paramount, for all the influx of the noobs, for the casuals. So the last time we seen something like this, I mean, you could think of any big highlight you want. You could think of Adesanya and Pereira. You could think of, I'm struggling. You could think of Masvidal and Nate Diaz. You could think of, nothing comes close. You could think of, Jones and Stipe Muchacho. Nothing comes close. We haven't seen anything that resembles this since the Conor McGregor era, since that influx of casuals came in, since specifically Conor McGregor was at UFC 196, specifically Conor McGregor and Nate Diaz part 1. This first Paramount, this wave from this first major event from Paramount is going to be the first time we've seen something like this since UFC 196. And I know that sounds insane because we're already deep in the 300s. This is something that's going to be like we haven't seen or experienced since UFC 196. And Dana White straight up told them, yeah, it's not a good look. It's not a good look. We're going to skip you. We're going to skip you because it doesn't look good, doesn't sound good, doesn't smell good. You're going to have to wait it out. You can go on a bunch of side missions. You can go on side quests. You can accumulate all this gold, all these straps, do what you got to do. But as far as we're confirmed, nah. I know you're number one. I know you fought your way there. I know you deserve it. I know everybody knows. But nah, we're an entertainment company. And we're supposed to entertain the people. And if we put you in the fight and you decide you're going to headbutt someone again and the fight gets canceled, then people don't get entertained. You know, because then they're going to get the women's fight as the main event. And they're going to revolt. They're going to revolt. And I know that, we're supposed to be all pro women and stuff in 2026, but deep down inside, everyone's a bunch of hypocrites and they just white knight on social media. And if we head into the new Paramount era at first major event with a female main event, they're going to torch us because everyone's a bunch of hypocrites and they don't put their money where their mouth is. So we can't trust you, Arman Sarukian. Just like we can't trust our women, who's supposed to be the best female fight ever in history, to lead this main event. So for that reason, for entertainment purposes, and because we can't let Paramount and CBS down, because then we let the advertisers down. And, the advertisers, frankly, they don't want to be advertising on a women's fight. for the main event, because that's just not where the money is, homie. Especially not with these two women. So Arman, you're gonna have to wait this one out, and then when we already got a deep clutch on the new casuals, and we feel more comfortable, then we'll throw you in there. At some point down the road, the number one contender will get to fight after the second and third and fourth and fifth. You know how it goes, Arman. You know how it goes. Stay humble.